scarier in
Mm.
that equation. It's just knowing that it really happened. And so yeah, that's definitely scary. But for me, I think the first scary movie I saw was The Ring. I saw that with like my mom was like watching it late at night. I don't know why. When I was a kid, we decided to watch it with her, and it was Liza just thinking about that woman, Liza crawling and like with her the black hair like over her head is like so like I think that was probably the first scary movie that like I actually fully watched. Probably before that, I've probably seen some scenes from like The Exorcist. The power of Christ compels you.
And then she spins her head, throws up, and then she levitates. I've seen that movie once, and I was like, I don't think I can ever see this movie ever again. Um, it's too much.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I've ever fully seen the movie, but I don't know why. Like one big part of that movie I remember was like the priest coming in there, and he
Mhm.
was like, you know, like the power of Christ compels you, and then that thing's like, it's like growling back at him. It's like, like it was definitely, uh, and like makes it gives me like goosebumps in like the worst way possible.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think the next question I have is actually not on here, but I actually like thought about it. So when was the first time that you decided that, well, not the first time, it's the only time, but like when was the first time you were like introduced to like Jesus? And like when did you accept him in your heart?
Hmm. Um, it's kind of strange because like my aunt, so my mom's sister, she's very Christian and she's amazing. But my parents really weren't. I think I went to vacation Bible school when they had it, just because that kind of left. That was kind of babysitting for a week. She didn't have to worry about taking care of us for a week. You know, kind of free baby care, free daycare in a way. Um, but I didn't really know who he was. I mean, I've seen Jesus Christ Superstar and Godspell in my theater when I did theater, because obviously the musicals. But I don't think I truly had encountered him. It was probably until, it was probably like maybe 2014. I started going to church, but I would go, like, I was very inconsistent. Um, and then I'll probably say the turning point was around 2016, with my friend Jake, who has a Spotify. Check him out. He's a really good singer, really good artist. But my friend Jake, um, I went to his young adult service that he was preaching at, and yeah, started doing that in 2016, and I got baptized in 2018. So within that year and a half, um, that's when I encountered him. That's when I first kind of met him. That's when I first felt accepted, because people keep saying how much theater is accepting, or how the LGBT, because it is Pride Month, so you hear that too, is accepting, but like I felt no connection or no accepting in the theater community at all. So it wasn't until I went to church like full time that I felt truly accepted as I am. I didn't have to be somebody else. I could just be me. Um, so
Yeah.
so probably 2016, 2017 was the major turning point.
Yes, yes. Thank you for sharing that. That's actually really good, you know, like a testimony that you have. Like, and just hearing, like even like outside of this podcast, hearing like the other things that you went through, which I know we will be getting to into further, like further topics down the road. And so, like, I'll definitely and look forward for people to like hear that story as well. And for me, I think I was 5 or 6. I don't know. I was trying to remember the school shooting that happened in 98 or 99. It was in, I feel like the town started with a C.
Oh,
Like,
Columbine.
Yeah, yeah. So like when that school shooting happened, was that the school shooting where like somebody came in like killed a girl, like asked her if she believed in Jesus, and she said yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I think that was it. But I'm also told that that story is also fabricated. Sorry,
yeah,
to kind of disprove that. But I think it's been disproven. I don't really know. I really don't like. I don't like hearing kids being murdered, so I tend to stay away from that.
yeah,
But anyway,
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that definitely is a like especially with like what's going on in Texas is definitely a sensitive subject for sure. But
I mean, I was scared to hear. I was scared that it's a text. I was like, "Oh shoot, was it my old middle school? Was it my old elementary school?" Because I went to school in Texas. So when I hear something in Texas in school, I'm like, "Oh no, is it mine?" And I would get sad, but it wasn't. Sorry.
yeah, so but like when that situation happened, whether that situation was fabricated or not, my mom told me, like, she said, if you were put in that situation, if someone asked you if you believe in Jesus or not, like, what would you say? And me being like young and naive at the time, I said no because I was thinking, like, oh, like that's gonna like save my life. And my mom's like, no, like, she said, you always say yes. Like, you don't ever like say that you don't believe in God or don't believe that Jesus died for you or anything like that. So I think like from that moment on, I think I was realized I need to take my belief. Well, at the time, at least I felt like I was raised to just kind of like believe and you're saved and that's it. So like I just thought like, well, as long as I just say yes, I believe that like that's gonna get me to heaven. So well, so that's kind of where I was up until like I started college. So like I ended up going to my current church and I've been there for 10 years now and I realized that it's definitely a lot more than just saying you believe is more of you gotta take up your own cross and follow him and definitely comes at a cost and like it's more than just being a believer, it's being a Christ follower and like living through his word and being obedient to his word. So I think as far as like when I was first introduced to like the idea of like believing in Jesus, it was like 5 or 6. But as far as when I started taking my relationship with him more seriously, it was probably like 19. So it was later on in life as well.
I was like 22, so
Yeah. And then even then I still like was never really in his word until COVID hit.
yeah.
So it's sad that it took something like COVID to come and for that to happen, but everything happens for a reason. It gave me a time of self-reflection and realizing that I definitely want to be in his word, not just to read it, but to fully understand it as well.
Yeah.
So I think my final question I have is I know you mentioned that you went to like middle like when you were younger you went to school in Texas. Do you remember your first day of kindergarten?
Well, first of all, no, it wasn't. No, wait, it wasn't Texas. Hold up. I moved around a lot. Give me a second. Yeah, it wasn't Texas. No, I don't. But I don't.
Yeah. Well, for me, I actually do remember it only because I remember my dad dropping me off and he's like, I'll see you later. And I just kind of like, okay. And like over like the next table away from me, like somebody was leaving their kid and the kid started like crying. And someone was like, don't go. And like, this kid's crying, bawling his eyes out. So I don't know why, like I do remember that. But like besides, I don't really remember much. I do remember my kindergarten teacher's name. Her name is Miss Hayes. So I actually used to see her at my previous job at Food Giant, but she never remembered me. So like I never like said nothing to her. It's like my feelings are hurt. I'm just kidding. But but yeah, I would always see her in there. It's like, hey Donna. I always like it's like I want to say that to her, but she'd be like, how you know? How do you know who I am?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my kindergarten story. So
I
yeah.
I don't remember anything from like 1999 to like 2008. It's like a 10-year
Yeah.
blank right there. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that is actually going to end our fun little game of my first blank. So I want to thank Alex again for being here. It's good having you back, and I definitely look forward for you to come back here in the future. I know there's at least a couple of topics I know that you will be back for, and
yeah.
I will definitely look forward to having you in those two topics on mental health and music because yeah,
Ooh.
those are
Speaking of,
two. Yeah, so yeah, those are like two big topics that I know you that is you definitely can relate to.
yeah,
So so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Quick plug in because I'm like, but I'm a friend of the pod, so it's fine. Um, um, I do have a YouTube channel if you guys wanna subscribe to that as well. It's just my name, Alex Kersh, Kersh. There's like one video on it, so I'm hoping to record more soon. But subscribe there. I'm making an album. Just gonna keep the word out because I want like at least 20 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Yeah, that would be great. So yeah, definitely if you have a YouTube and you want to follow somebody else and go follow him through his musical journey and seeing the whether it's behind the scenes or the actual recording of it all, you can follow him. And also, as you can be sure to subscribe to my channel as well, Not Your Average Joel, and also be sure to like this if you are on Facebook as well. And I think that is going to be it. So I hope that everybody has a good rest of your day, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.